Hey, Roberto Monaco here with the Chiro Speaking Company and the Chiro Speaking Club. And today I have my brother, Dr. Dane Donohue. From where? From this beautiful place. Where are you, buddy?
I'm on the Chesapeake Bay. You have my marina behind you. It's the summertime, and if it's summer, you're going to find me a lot of times on my boat in the Chesapeake Bay.
That's the life there. That's a life. And Dr. Dane is a mentor, a friend. I had an opportunity to probably do like between 7 to 10 events with him, including one. He sponsored us to go to England to do an event, which is amazing. We've done several events here. And there's so many things I love about Dr. Dane and his company called 8 Weeks to Wellness, the short AWW. If I mention the name AWW, you know it is 8 Weeks to Wellness. This guy's congruent. And his heart's so about chiropractic. It's all about helping people to become healthy. And if you look at him, you know, I haven't seen it without shirt, but if you look at him, that guy is ripped, is congruent, is healthy. I think he was, if I believe it correctly, second generation chiropractor. Third. You want to talk about it? And I'm so excited, man, to introduce you here to our group, to our community, and welcome my buddy, Dr. Dane Donohue.
Well, it's I tell you, I get to do a lot of podcasts and interviews like this, and you know, I'm really excited to do this with you, Roberto, because your energy is always infectious, and likewise, you've been a huge mentor. So I think anytime you get two people with great energy that have a big heart and really want to want to serve our profession and really want to help people, we're going to have a good interview.
I love it. So today, my thing is that I want to make this call super productive and actually help you change or shift or improve your mindset, improve your business. I asked Dr. Dane, what is your one thing, right? Because if Roberto Monaco, I'm known as the speaking guy, right? The influence guy. And we all have one thing. Obviously, I do a lot of things. And Dr. Dane has companies, does a lot of things as well. But I ask Dr. Dane, what is your one thing? What is one thing that if you had all the chiropractors in the world listening to us right now, what is the one thing that you want to communicate? So Dr. Dane, what is your one thing?
All right, so can we do a little experiment here, Roberto? Because I
love that. We're gonna put you in the spot here. I love that.
Okay, I think it'll bring out what the one thing is. So Roberto, play a little game with me here. If I say Nike, the brand Nike, you think what?
Shoes.
You see, think sneakers or shoes. If I say the brand Apple, you think?
Computer. Okay.
If I say the brand Kellogg's, you think?
Cereal.
Okay, and we could keep going on and on and on.
Yeah.
But now I'm gonna play another game. I say the word chiropractic, and you're not Roberto Monaco now. You're John Q. Public. You're the average citizen in the U.S. or around the globe. I say chiropractic. You think?
Pain.
Pain. Okay, and particularly probably lower back pain or neck pain, right?
I would say back pain. Yep.
Okay, and so now that you know a little bit about this profession because you've been in it for a while and you know so many chiropractors and your family has benefited from chiropractic. I know your story.
Yep.
Tell me, is that what you perceive the brand of chiropractic is all about?
No, what I perceive, the brand that I see chiropractic is different than the majority of people perceive. For sure. Like right. the average population. So the average population perceive as a pain, as a pain, related brand. I perceive as a function, as a health thing, right?
Okay. So let me tell you, I've studied this because I do think that this is a huge obstacle to the growth of this profession. And also it is one of the things that makes chiropractors struggle and gets them pigeonholed into thinking, okay, well, I just have to practice what the public wants me or perceives me as, right? So I might as well not go against the grain and just, accept insurance and stay in a musculoskeletal model of care because that's what the public perceives me as. And I think that that's really shackled our profession. And, it's not why any of us probably got into chiropractic. So I think, if you really study this like I have, it's very difficult. If all of a sudden, Roberto, let me give an example. If all of a sudden Nike said, you know what, we're not going to do shoes anymore. We're not going to do apparel. We're going to do computers. Okay. and Nike went out and said, you know what, we're going to now start making computers. That's not what the public would perceive Nike as, and they'd really struggle against a big powerhouse like Apple, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So think about how hard it is to shift gears for a brand that's known or pigeonholed as back pain. It requires a tremendous amount of education in the public, and this is where I feel like we failed. We failed at an individual level as a chiropractor, communicating with patients and really being able to engage them like you have. You know, you've been educated over time. You've gone from a person, and I know your story, who didn't even know what chiropractic is, to now having a beautiful daughter that was the result of chiropractic care and really the natural way of life. So, you know, how do we cause that shift? Because if I said to you, Roberto, what is your daughter worth to you? What would you be willing to pay to have that experience? I know what you would pay, right? You would pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to get chiropractic care for you and your wife, to be able to have a beautiful family. And why aren't we doing this with more families around the world?
Because, like, I think goes back to the lack of education, one, and the brand, and kind of like you said before, you know, either the medical model or how we started, we communicated that's you were a pain, you know, that we communicate in a way that people perceive us as in a pain paradigm, not the other paradigm. So the question is, I think the $1 million question is, so what is the solution?
Okay, so great question. Okay, so I love to role play because I think, you know, I like things in real time in real life.
Okay.
So let me give your listeners some real information that they can use that I use every day in my practice, and I teach my doctors.
Yeah.
Okay. So we use a term: give patients what they want. Okay, give them what they want, but show them what they could have. Okay.
Oh, that's a good power line.
Exactly. Give them what they want. Meet them where they are, Roberto, right? You got to give them what they want. And it's okay that people come to chiropractic based on a pain-based problem. That's okay. Okay. So meet them where they are, but show them what's available to them. And most people don't know what they want, Roberto, because they don't know what's available to them.
Yep. That's it. I love that. I love that.
So for example, I just had a patient this week, Roberto, that I sat down with, and her cholesterol came down 45 points in 8 weeks under my care. Okay. Now, would most people going to a chiropractor think, hey, I could lower my cholesterol 45 points in 8 weeks? Do you think that most people do? But how many people are spending millions and billions of dollars on statin medications to lower their cholesterol? You getting where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So give them what they want. If a person comes to me with shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, that's great. But if I look at their health history or look at the other conditions that they're being treated for with drugs, and I know as a chiropractor that I can help them with my arsenal of tools in my tool belt, you know, chiropractic adjustments, exercise, nutrition, supplementation, managing stress, and I'm able to do that for the patient and get them off this medication. Because let's face it, Roberto, when I ask a patient, Roberto, tell me what you would like to accomplish with your health or your goals, and one of the things they never tell me is, I'd like to take more drugs. Okay, when I say, I call it my magic wand question. So my magic wand question is this. So Roberto, if my pen here turned into a magic wand and I could wave it over you and change anything about your health that you know would dramatically improve the quality of your life and maybe get you to live longer and better, what would those 1 or 2 or 3 dreams or wishes be? Nobody's ever told me I want to take more drugs. Okay. But what do they tell me? I wish I could sleep better. I wish I had better energy. Okay. I wish that I ate better. I wish that I could get rid of this, this cholesterol issue that I have, right? I wish I could get off some of this medication. I wish I wasn't so depressed. Like, these are the things that I hear, right? Mm-hmm. And we have the tools in our tool belt to help people, Roberto, but we've got to give them what they want, but we've not only got to be able to show them that there's more that we can offer them, because if you help a person with their pain, there's value in that. There's certainly value in getting people out.
So how, one thing that I'm curious, and maybe we're on the topic here, if my mind's, and you know, people sometimes like their mindset, let's say I have a really bad back pain or neck or shoulder pain, and that is all I can focus right now. Right? That's my mindset. And I come to your office, and now we talk about all these amazing things, the future, no medication. How you elegantly make that transition from one belief system, right? I'm ingrained here, to to kind of like to pace them. Okay, I get it, but also lead them. How, I'm just curious on how do you do that? I'm putting you in the spot here.
It's a great point you make, Roberto, because we don't want people to come in and think, okay, well, like we've shelved their main problem. Like, okay, Roberto, I don't really care about your back pain. Now I just want to tell you all the wonderful things chiropractic can do. Because then I believe you turn the patient off because they're like, yeah, well, doc, what about my back pain? That's why I'm here. So, in our process, what we do is that we have what we call 3 parts to our examination and day 1 visit. Okay. Here are the 3 parts. The first part is that we focus on what we call their chief complaint or their hot button. And we have 12 specific questions that we ask the patient all around what brought them to the office. Okay. So these would be questions like, what's the quality of the pain? What's the frequency of the pain? How many traumas have you had in your life? And what's the impact of those traumas been? How is the problem affecting your quality of life? Okay. And preventing you from doing the things that you really want and need to do in your daily activities? Is the pain referred? Like, so if it radiates, that's a more serious problem because that means the nervous system is involved, right? If you got pain down your leg, there's a nerve involved. If you got pain or numbness down your arm, there's a nerve involved. That's a more serious problem. So that's the first part, okay? Most chiropractors are really good at that, Roberto. We call it OPQRST, right? Onset, what makes it better or worse? What's the timing, OPQRST. Now, the second part is really important. This is the part I feel that chiropractors are missing. So just role play with me for a second, and you'll see how naturally this happens, right? So after my 12 questions about their presenting complaint, I'm going to say something like this. So Roberto, I think I really have a good understanding of your lower back pain, and I really believe you're in the right place. In a couple minutes, we're going to do an exam to see if you have a problem that I can help you with. And if you don't, I promise you I'll get you the right people. If you do, this is going to be great news because we'll be able to fix this problem. But for right now, what I'd like to do is just shift gears for a moment. And I'd like to ask you some questions about your past medical history. Is that okay?
100%.
Okay. So Roberto, I see on your intake paperwork, I see that you're taking a statin drug. You're taking a statin medication, Lipitor. And so obviously you've been diagnosed with high cholesterol. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I can assume you were diagnosed by your family doctor, put you on this medication?
Yes.
Okay. And how long have you been taking the statin medication?
8 years.
8 years. Wow, that's a long time. Have you noticed any side effects from the medication itself?
Yes.
Okay. What type of side effects? Muscle cramps, whatever, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hold on. But yeah, I don't take statins, so I don't know about
Yeah, exactly. So the biggest one would be muscle cramps. So they're going to tell you, or they'll say, no, I haven't, right? But either way, it doesn't matter. So here's the really important part. Okay. So Roberto, the reason that I asked you is that obviously having high cholesterol is a problem, okay? And your doctor putting you on this statin medication because, he wanted to lower your cholesterol. But my question to you is that, do you want to take this medication or has your doctor told you when you can come off of this medication? And most people say, no, he's never told me I can come off this medication. And that's why I bring it up, Roberto, because most medications have long-term side effects. So if I could help you with your high cholesterol, and I'm not saying that I can, but what I will tell you, I've helped a lot of people with high cholesterol and helped them get off their medication more in a natural way. So if I could help you with this problem as well as your lower back pain, is that something you would be interested in?
I would love that. Would be phenomenal.
Okay, great. So I'm just going to mark that on your chart and we'll talk about that. But first, let's address this lower back pain. But now I know that you would like help with your cholesterol.
By the way, I just want to say how brilliant you are, because one, I never felt disrespected or like trying to invade my personal life. Right? My personal, you frame well, asking for permission in the beginning, which I was taking notes here. Number one, well done, super well done. Number two, when you reconnect back to my current problem, I love that.
Right, sure.
So that was the second point. So we have hot buttons, then you ask permission, right? Which is amazing. I love it.
So give them what they want, right? Let them know, Roberto, I'm going to help fix your lower back pain. That's my specialty, right?
Yeah.
But show them what they could have. Roberto, you may not know this, but guess what? We run a program called 8 Weeks to Wellness. And not only can we help you get off this statin medication, lower your cholesterol, let me show you some cases where we've done just that, okay? And then when you follow that up, Roberto, with the proper examination and you're looking at things like subluxation and visceral fat and their BMI and functional movement screen, and then you show them that, Roberto, you really have some real problems beyond your back, and these probably should be addressed too.
So when do you, so the step one is the hot button, step two of your consultation, you show what's possible. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yep.
What's step three?
Okay. So good point. So step one is the hot button. Step two is what I call the past medical history review.
Okay.
So we look at conditions and drugs they're taking. And
Yeah.
then we want to know, do they want help? Now, maybe they don't. And if they don't, that's fine too. Maybe they're totally fine with taking drugs,
Yeah.
and they're totally fine with their medical doctor and all the things they're doing. That happens occasionally. Like they're saying,
Yeah.
hey, don't mess with this. I really just want help with my back pain. I didn't come here for my cholesterol. Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, you have to wait and develop rapport with the patient. Okay. Wait a little while, right, before you revisit that.
Of course.
Okay? Now, the third part is what I call their future health history. Okay. So let's look into the future a year from now, Roberto. If there's anything you could change about your health that you think that would have a big impact on the quality of your life and maybe even help you with your back pain, let's talk about what that is. You know, what are your goals for yourself? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want better energy? Would you like to sleep better? Would you like to start eating better? And so we have a whole process. We really have 3 questions. So one of the questions, can we role play a question?
Yeah, of course.
I think it's a brilliant question. So Roberto, this is a really important question. I call this my magic wand question. But if my pen here turned into a magic wand and I could wave it over you, Roberto, and change anything about your health that you think would really have a big impact on the quality of your life, okay? Because let's face it, your health is the foundation of the quality of your life.
Yeah.
If there's something that you know yourself the best, if there was something that you could change that would dramatically improve that quality of your health, what would that be? And things that people tell me all the time, Roberto,
I would say you sleep better.
Okay, sleep better. All right, so let's talk about that. So sleep is quality and quantity, right? It's how much you're getting and how good it is. So is it the quality of your health or the quantity that's most impacted? Or is it both?
I think it's both.
Okay, great. Okay, so if we could get you sleeping better, tell me how you think that would improve the quality of your life.
Basically everything, you know, better attitude, better thinking, you know,
Sure.
Less dependence on coffee, more energy, you know, in fact, I mean, sleeping is key.
Okay, so I absolutely agree with you, and I think that's an awesome goal. Let's get you sleeping better so you have better energy, you're not drinking as much coffee, and all these other things. So that's a great goal. Anything else besides sleep that comes to mind, Roberto?
Well, then I would go, man, I'd love to be super active because I have a 2-year-old and have another baby coming up. So I'd love to be in my older age, to be super active and to be the stud of all the dads out there.
Okay. So, and I think that's a very reasonable goal. And what I would tell you about that, to be active, you got to move well, Roberto. Okay. Mm-hmm. If you can't move well, you're going to have a really hard time being active. So one of the things that we can set as a goal is make sure you're moving well and you have a good, strong core and you have a lot of muscle on your body so that as you age, you're aging successfully. Is that a good goal?
That'd be amazing. Yep.
Okay. So let me ask you a question, Roberto. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being, you know what, Dr. Dane, I could care less about this lower back pain, and 10 being, you know what, I'll do whatever it takes to get it fixed. Where do you think you are right now with that problem?
Are we talking about the lower back pain or talk about the other goals?
We're talking about the lower back pain.
Oh man, I can't work well. I'm taking these pills. I would say a 10. I'm a 10. Okay.
Now, how about the other goals we talked about? Better sleep and being able to be more active.
I would say a 10 too. I think that would be, I think after I get my back pain, I would love to focus on those too as well.
Okay, awesome. And you know what? If that's the case, Roberto, you and I are going to get along really well. And I think you're going to have a great experience here because this is truly a wellness center. I'm not just concerned about your back pain. I'm really concerned about you and your health. So I think you're going to do really well here in our office.
I love it. Man, I love it. And it's good because, by the way, these are my goals too, right? I have a 2-year-old and I have a baby. And that's what I want to do, you know? You inspire me so many ways. So recap here. I wrote down, I love your process. Hot buttons, past history, future history. That's brilliant. One of the things that couple things. One of the questions for you, because in the beginning you start talking about what's your one thing, and one thing is about change people's perception about what chiropractic is, about health, right? When people, two questions, okay? One, what is the percentage that come in your office because you have a very successful practice, and also obviously I know you coach and you have how many centers you have now? AWW? doing your?
I think we have close to 70.
Awesome. And I know you have in Europe, and everywhere, which is awesome. What is the percentage that people come that come from pain based that actually eventually they're, I don't want to say flipped, but they embrace the wellness or lifestyle based?
Yeah. So it's a great question. We get, I would say probably about 50-50, about 50% musculoskeletal problems, 50% what I call organic problems. So we have people regularly that come in, they're type 2 diabetics, or they've had a friend who's gone through 8 weeks to wellness, who's lost a ton of weight, and maybe they're taking less medication and their energy's better, their sleep's better, and they get referred because, they want the same thing, Yeah. So we see probably a lot higher percentage than the average chiropractic practice of visceral or organic complaints. Mm-hmm. But of the people that come in with back pain, neck pain, headaches, musculoskeletal problems, I would say a good 60 to 70% of those also want the additional services that
Wow, that's big.
Yeah, and that's predicated on the fact of doing a good job with what we just did.
Yeah, okay. That's big. Yeah, that's really big. And what is the percent? And what is just? I don't know if you have the number, because how many people that you expose? Because a lot of people they hear maybe AWW or 8 Week Wellness. They don't know like your third generation chiropractors, right, that you're a hardcore chiropractor. So what's the percentage of people that come to a clinic with no clue about chiropractic, but they come because of the wellness, and eventually you're able to move them into chiropractic care?
So I'll give you a real life example. I had a woman not too long ago. She's the principal. We have 2 very large high schools in my town, and she's the principal of one of the high schools. So a very influential person in our community, right? She's principal, mm-hmm. And this is hundreds and of teachers and thousands of students. And she came, and her name is Susan, and she's scared to death of chiropractic. And I could tell she literally is almost sweating in the consultation. And I said, Susan, are you okay? And she's like, I'm scared to death to get my neck adjusted, right? I'm scared to death to get my neck adjusted. I said, well, obviously you've never been to a chiropractor before? She's like, no, and I don't want to get adjusted. And I looked at her, Roberto, and I said, well, why are you here? She said, I've heard so many good things about your program, and I'm wondering how I can do it but not have to do the chiropractic part. No. And I literally, like for me, that's a dagger to my heart.
No, and of course.
Yeah, because it really shakes me to the core that this woman doesn't understand the value of chiropractic. But that's not her fault, and it's not my fault. It just is what it is.
Yeah, like, by the way, I have a lot of, the reason I was laughing, because I was thinking about a couple people in my network, right, super close, that know, that I'm a chiropractic advocate, who are afraid of being adjusted,
Right. So how do you deal with that? So, I think you got to meet people where they are and recognize that there's a culture out there that's created this. There's a medical profession that's created a scare around strokes and chiropractic, and so you have to meet people where they are. And the nice thing is that, when people trust you, and this woman came because she's had other teachers in her school who've been through the program, who've done really well, who've said good things about her office. So there's a certain level of trust there, right? Mm-hmm. And so now all I have to do is, I know she trusts me. I have to educate her that getting adjusted is not what she thinks it is in her mind. And that's mm-hmm. a process, right? So you just meet them where they are, and you take them through that process, and you honor them. So I wouldn't go in and give her a strong adjustment to her neck on the first visit, because all that's going to do is validate her fears. So you have to kind of bring people along in the process. But to answer your question, I don't think that woman would have ever been in my office, Roberto, if it wasn't for the results that other people had gotten through mm-hmm. 8 weeks to wellness.
That's cool.
You know what I mean? So you can turn people on. The thing I love is, people understand fitness. They understand nutrition. They understand stress management. And so, we get a lot of patients that come in through those avenues, and then we get the opportunity to educate them on chiropractic. And my buddy Jason Deitch calls it turning the funnel upside down. And what I mean by that, Roberto, is most chiropractors got the funnel turned upside down, where the small end, they're trying to bring in the smaller percentage of people that understand chiropractic and then turn them on to lifestyle modification like nutrition and exercise. But what if you flip the funnel the way it's supposed to be? What if you're talking about topics and doing things that people already recognize, And then because of that, you get to educate them on the value of chiropractic care.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. So if you had, so how do dude, you provide so much value here for us. And by the way, I've been to several HWW events, several, and they're amazing. You bring speakers, you speak, is a lot of how-to information. That means that people learn the procedures, learn the process, they implement their practice right away. So tell a little bit about how, if you're a doctor, and I like this conversation that you're having, what's the next step for them to reach out to you? What's the best way to reach out to you? What do you have coming up?
So I would say do your homework. So there's two websites that I always recommend, Roberto. 8ww.com. That's our patient site. That's about the program, the clinical program for patients. So go there and look at it. 8ww.com. And then we have another site, Learn, Learn, 8ww.com. And that's more for doctors. We do 2 seminars a year. They're hands-on. We do them, as you know, Roberto, I've asked you to speak multiple times. We do them at 8 Weeks to Wellness centers at hotels right by them. So we get to visit the center. And like you said, it's hands-on. These are doctors that are practicing and successful with the program. So I want the people that come to the seminar to be able to see an 8 Weeks to Wellness center, and how do we do our new patient processing? How do we run the program? And how do we blend all of these? We have 5 fundamental therapies: chiropractic, nutrition, functional fitness, meditation, and massage. So how do we blend all that together in a program? It's a lot of hands-on stuff. I'm a big fan of not just they always say why, how, what. I'm a really big fan of the how, because I think there's a lot of why, like the the do, be, have model, right?
Yep.
It's generally a be, do, have model, right? But I believe in the do, be, have model, right? Do it, and if you do it long enough, it's going to make you become that person. Don't just keep talking about it. So just keep talking about it without doing anything about it doesn't really change you.
So if you had, I'm going to throw your magic pen question at you. Okay. If you had a magic pen here and you're speaking to all profession, let's say, I don't know, in America, probably you have like 50,000. Let's say you have all the chiropractors, let's say 80,000 listen to you. What would be your closing message for all of them?
So I lost that last part. But
if you had all the chiropractors listen to you right now, and you had one message, what would you tell them?
Here's what I would tell them. I would say, stop measuring symptoms and start measuring physiology. Stop measuring outcomes based on pain and start measuring outcomes based on real physiological changes in our patients. I believe in the law of cause and effect, Roberto, and we are effect-driven profession. People recognize that we're all about symptoms and pain. And I would say if we could start teaching patients more about looking at their physiology, and their function, and measuring that function and showing how we improve function and not just pain. Meet people where they are. They're based on symptoms and pain, but show them that's the underlying physiology. And if we take it one step farther, it's not just the physiology, it's the way they're living their life that leads to that dysfunctional physiology, that creates the disease, and that's why they're taking the medication. If we could go out and start communicating that message and then deliver on the promise, say, Roberto, I'm going to change your function and your physiology, and wait till you see the impact of that on the quality of your life and how you're sleeping and your energy level and your ability to move and age successfully, and that ripples out into everything that you do. I think we start to make that shift from pain-based to function-based and physiology-based, and understand where what's driving that physiology, which is their lifestyle. They're not getting adjusted. They're not eating well. They're not thinking positively. They're not exercising in a way that's keeping muscle on their body and keeping their core strong. I think that's the message we need to go to market with.
Well, I love you, brother. Thanks so much for your wisdom. You provide so many tactics and strategies today. I have a whole bunch of notes here. Love you, brother. Thanks so much. And I'm looking forward to seeing you one of your events or someplace else, buddy. Much love. Enjoy your vacation with your beautiful family there.
Thanks, buddy. I always, by the way, I just want to say real quick, I always enjoy my interviews with you. You ask really great questions, and you're so good at listening, Roberto. So I enjoyed this. Really, I enjoyed this a lot.
Love you, brother.
Love you
Peace
too.
out. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.